Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello and welcome to USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Dr. JACALYN Kerbeck, and our show today is the Mallorca Connection. Our topic is traveling through France, Portugal, and Spain. A resume with expert and our dear friend and colleague here, Mr. Roland Friedl. Let's welcome him to the show. Hello.
Hello, Dr. JACALYN. Great to see you again.
Thank you. Great to see you as well. Where in the world are you today, Roland?
I am in the south of Austria, so in my home country. I'm back in Austria. I'm back in Austria after a long, amazing trip. I'm back in Austria now in the south because I had a business meeting there, and then I'm going back to North Austria.
Well, that's exciting to be back in your home country, and you've been traveling for over a year now in your RV, haven't you?
Yes. I started last year in April. Beginning with it's just a year now that I moved. Actually, I moved full time in my motorhome after I left the island of Mallorca, and I was traveling around the last year, and it was an amazing experience. But it's also good to come short back to Austria, and to reconnect with my Austrian friends, with my family, organize some stuff, and then I continue my traveling.
Fantastic. Well, we're super excited to hear about your recent travels. But before we get into that, Roland, I'd love for you to share with our audience about what it is that you are actually doing to pay the bills and put that RV back on the road every day. Tell us about your business.
Okay, thank you. How I pay my bill? That's a good question. Actually, from my background, I'm a coach consultant. I was always an entrepreneur. I had a fast and short career in the corporate world, but I left it very early. Actually, on the peak of my career, I was the youngest member of board director of a company. Successfully, I left it on the peak, and the reason for that is I love traveling. I love exploring the world. I love to get to know people, culture, but actually in Austria we are it's not so bad than in other countries like in the US or in Asia, where you only have 1 or 2 or 3 weeks vacation. We have 5 weeks. It's quite a lot, yes, but not for me. Not for me, because I love to travel long. So I decided to go with my own businesses. I started my own businesses. First of all, I want to be my own boss. I want to do my own stuff, and secondly, I want to have when the business is running once, it always takes time and energy to build up a business. It's really hard work. But when it's working, when a business is working, when a business is settled, I want to have more time for myself and for traveling. And so I started different in different areas. To be honest, some very successful, some failed. It was a good, I wouldn't say failure, it was a failure, but for me, it was a good learning. I know exactly where my strengths, where my weak points, so focusing on my strengths. I started with other businesses, and in different areas. I built up a network worldwide with a supplement I'm taking since 29 years. And about more than 2.5 decades ago, I started by accident, actually, building up a coaching consulting company in Switzerland. Because the reason was, when I built up one of my companies, I hired coaches from outside and trainers from outside, but I was never happy about the outcome. There was too much theory. These guys hadn't really been successful in their life, but tried to train my people. So I started to train my own people, my own stuff. And some people came to me and said, "Hey, that's amazing what you do. Can you also train my stuff?" I said, "Well, yeah, never thought about it, but I started, and actually my first client at the time was Xerox. So since over 20 years, I trained Xerox worldwide and other companies. So so part-time, I started with training, consulting, coaching, and it became my full-time business because I really love to do it. I really love to support companies, and I really love to help people to develop themselves, to improve themselves, to become a better version of themselves. So that's actually my main business, coaching, consulting with Sparta Performance Systems in Switzerland. We offer our service in different languages worldwide. And besides that, my life is dedicated to men's work, really to men's work with Sparing for Men, and also with the Wild at Heart show. We did the last year here on USA Global TV, and I also very engaged in environmental stuff, so the Earth show and environmental business. And actually more and more people come to me and say, Roland, you have a really kind of weird or crazy lifestyle. I said, no, I'm not crazy. I just live the life you would love to live if you wouldn't have so much fear. So I started a few years ago a concept that's called Wireless Life Rocks, where we coach people who also want an independent lifestyle, maybe work remotely, wherever they want to do. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. Long story.
Well, you're doing a lot. So, and it's also hard to believe that the brainchild that you came up with, Wild at Heart Bonfire Talks, that show that it's been on for almost a year. The time just flies by.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, actually, I had a business meeting today with a company. They're interested in my services and in leadership trainings and sales trainings. And she Googled me and said, "Wow, you have so many websites and so many stuff." And yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sometimes I really have to say sorry, but I have a very broad experience because I was always curious to learn new things, to experiment with things, to try new things out. I love to go outside of my comfort zone. It doesn't mean that I'm fearless. Absolutely not. I have fear sometimes, but it doesn't stop me. It doesn't stop me.
Well, that's a good thing. That's really empowering. So you have all this extensive experience in traveling throughout your life, and now you've been traveling in a different way through a motorhome, a very nice motorhome, we should say as well. And you've been traveling with a couple of your furry friends. How would you say overall you've changed as a person based on this last year of traveling?
Oh, a lot. A lot. The more and more I think about it, really. First of all, the reason why I bought this motorhome years ago was I was always traveling worldwide, business-wise, but also for privately, to explore cultures, and I was always traveling for a long time, so at least 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks or longer. And I always had dogs. I always missed my dogs. And in 2017, I remember I was sitting in Bali in a beautiful villa I rented on my pool, and I said, "Oh, I missed my dogs." And I started Googling, and I got to buy a motorhome. Because I want to explore more in Europe. I want to travel with my dog, so that's why I bought this motorhome. And after 14 years on this beautiful island in Mallorca, I decided it's time for a change. It's actually time for a change. After the pandemic, we have been closed in Mallorca. I couldn't get out. I love freedom. I love my own decision. I was not able to travel. I was really caught on the island. And I said, maybe it's time to do something I always wanted to do, but also was afraid, to be honest. I always was afraid. And I said, okay, now it's time. And I moved full-time in my motorhome. The motorhome is there. It costed me a hell of money. I don't use it only a few weeks per year. So let's go in full-time. Let's try to find out how it is to live with less stuff. What is really important for me is, do I really need 4 cars? I had 4 cars. Do I really need this huge house? Do I really need this stuff? Does it really make me happy? Or is it something different? And so I said, okay, let's do it. So I moved a year ago, a little bit more than a year ago. I moved full-time in the motorhome. And the learning out of that is 2 things. First of all, I need much less things, and I have more time for myself, because the point is, when you have a large house, some cars, motorbikes, a lot of stuff, you're investing not only a lot of money, but a lot of your energy and time to take care about all this stuff. I mean, first of all, you have to make money to maintain everything, but you also invest a lot of time in maintenance, taking care about it. Even when you outsource it to somebody who does it for you, but you have to take care about it. So for me, it's a lot of time waste for this material stuff. It's one thing. So I have had much more time for myself on the traveling because I have less stuff with me. Actually, the motive is quite large. It's to be honest, I didn't use the last time. I guess 80% of my clothes I brought with me, and 80% of the other stuff. But anyway, so it's still a learning. That's one point. And the second point was a huge learning. I always was in a relationship. I was married 2 times. I always was in relationships, and it was the first time for myself traveling alone. Actually with a cat and a dog, but not with a girlfriend or a wife. And this was really challenging for me in the beginning. I was really scared in the beginning how I'm by myself. Do I feel lonely? How it is? This was a learning process, but after this year, I can say I absolutely enjoy it. Of course, sometimes I missed intimacy, meaning intimacy, sharing nice moments like a sunset on a beach or a nice restaurants or doing a sightseeing tour in a nice city or exploring new places. But I made a list like the JACALYN. The positive sides of being traveling alone and the negative sides. And to be honest, the positive side was much larger than the negative one. So it was a learning process. I need less to be happy. And I enjoy to be by myself. Absolutely.
Wow, that's outstanding and inspirational for people who are kind of on the fence about what to do. You know, you brought up about all of the things that you had and the 4 cars and the big house. And I feel like many of us, including me, we get trapped into that materialism. I know I was obsessed with shoes and bags and all these things I really could care less about. But it is interesting how we spend a lot of our life a certain way. And then maybe something like the pandemic comes and all of a sudden we start looking at things from a different perspective. Do you think the pandemic had a big influence on you? Or do you think it was just you had just had enough of the lifestyle you were living?
Actually, it already started before the pandemic. To be honest, I was many times I was sitting in the house and said, oh, no, I don't want it anymore. It's too much stuff. And then my girlfriend, my last girlfriend, she didn't move in, but she brought more and more stuff into the house. The house getting full and full and full. And I remember, I really, to be honest, I don't know if it's a depression, but I was sitting sometimes in my home office looking at my stuff. I said, no, I don't want it. And my girlfriend said, I can hear you in a talk. You want to burn down everything. Please burn down the house. She was always scared that I burn down the whole house. I said, no, I don't burn down all of it. But you could feel I wasn't happy anymore. It was too much stuff around me. But I kept the house. I always said, yeah, to be honest, I always said I cannot move into my motorhome because my girlfriend loves the house. So I keep the house. To be honest, for me, it was an excuse. I was scared to move into my motorhome to try this new style out. That was first thing. But the pandemic really gave the last kick. As I said before, we lived in this beautiful island, but with all these lockdowns, and I love traveling. You know, I love to make my own decision. For me, I love freedom and independence. I could not move. I could not get out of the island. Sometimes we couldn't get out of the property. Fortunately, we had a large property, so I could make dog walks for 2 hours on the own property. It was quite rough. This was okay. But I didn't feel free. It was not my will to stay on the property. It was because a government or somebody said it's not allowed. And I have problems with it. So the pandemic really was the last kick that I made the decision, okay, try a new way out. And to be honest, it's crazy we do TV together, but I don't own a TV set. I had one before. I don't have one in the motorhome. I'm not a TV looker, but I'm a YouTube. I love YouTube to explore new things, to learn new stuff. And I always was watching YouTube videos about when life was. I always thought it's a cool lifestyle. It's not only for young people, also like mid-agers like myself. And yeah, the pandemic gave the last kick, but it was in my head as earlier before.
Thanks so much for sharing that. And as you know, our title today is Traveling Through France, Portugal, and Spain, a resume. So why don't you take us on a little journey about your travels through these countries and tell us what we need to know?
Yeah, we talk here about Europe, and I have to be honest. I had there's so many countries in Europe, so many different places, different climate areas, different cultures, different languages, and stuff like that. So I was thinking about where to start. As I said, I bought the motorhome in 2007, or in 2018 it came. I was already 4 months in 2018. Yeah, I was 4 months in France with the motorhome, a little bit in Czechoslovakia. 2019, only 2 weeks in Germany. 2020, lockdown, nothing. And in 21, I was traveling 4 months, but actually mostly for business. 1 business month in Germany, visited all my clients, then 2 months in Poland, and then 1 month again for business in Austria. So I said, okay, what's next? Where I would like to go. I was thinking about different points, and then to be honest, as I said, I traveled alone, and I said, okay, I'm alone. First time in my life, I decided let's go to Spain. For 2 reasons. I've been living on this Spanish island. I know a few spots of Spain, but not the whole country. So, okay, let's explore Spain. I don't know the rest of Spain. And to be honest, I feel safe there because I speak the language. So that's why I decided I go to Spain. And then I was looking on a map, and I said, well, when you go to Spain, you cross France. Some parts of France you haven't seen. So take France on the way down to Spain and all on the way back. And then I said, oh, Portugal is also there. It's a small country. Let's go to Portugal too. So that's the decision. Okay. But the reason, to be honest, was I speak the language quite good. I do also training and coaching in Spanish. So I decided, okay, let's start with Spain, do Portugal, and 2 parts of France I haven't seen before. And it's also to be honest, very popular, especially in winter. Most people think, okay, it's a high season is of course summer season when there's vacation and family to fly with the kids to spend 1, 2, or 3 weeks on the beach. But for campers or van lifers, it's high season in winter because many, especially retired people, flee from the cold in the north and they go on the Spanish coast, or they go on the south coast in Algarve in Portugal. So it was quite busy. It's very popular to go there. To be honest, like the Jacalyn, when I look back, I'm very happy that I did it last year and this year, because it's going more and more and more people are coming. It's more and more crowded. So I'm happy I did it. And this year I go in different places.
So there is a limitation about where you can go because you have to stay on land, obviously. Have you had any thoughts of maybe traveling without your motorhome so that you could go see other things, other places?
What do you mean? Sorry.
So in other words, let's say, for example, you wanted to see the United States. You're not going to be able to take your motorhome and come over here unless you ship
actually,
it.
before the pandemic, I already was talking with a company. It's called Seabridge, who ship motorhomes from Europe to anywhere in the world.
Ah.
And before the pandemic, my plan was, and actually with the start of the pandemic too, I remember when it started in March, I had a discussion with my girlfriend at the time. Let's ship the motorhome from Europe to Canada. Travel 3 months to Canada. That's what we'd get the visa. Go for a 3-month visa, and then we can prolong it on 6 months. Do the US, travel for US, and go down to Costa Rica. That was the plan before. And then everything went very well. Very fast. Lockdowns, and then the vaccination, all this stuff came. So I was thinking about that. And it's still in my head, in a few years. Yes, absolutely. I would love to go with my motorhome, to bring my motorhome to Canada, travel Canada, US, Mexico, and down. Yeah, of course. It's on my bucket list. Yeah.
That's exciting. That's exciting. So for people who haven't been to France or Portugal or Spain, can you describe some of the experiences and some of the ththings that you saw?
First of all 3 countries are rich of culture. Amazing. We have also a very old story. We have a lot of culture. We have different epochs. You see castles, churches, amazing landscapes. It's all beautiful countries, and they have amazing food. I mean, France is very popular for cuisine for us, but also the Spanish kitchen is very good. Portuguese kitchen, especially with seafood, is amazing. So it's really worth to travel there. Absolutely. It has a nice climate. People are very open-minded. People are very friendly. They love to party. They're always outside. It's always party time. They don't. I come from Central Europe, from Austria. Austrian Germans, we also say work, 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 work. And these guys in the south, in the Mediterranean, there, in the sun, everything is easy going. Everything is mañana, mañana. Don't stress yourself. I actually. I love this. I love this lifestyle. People are less stressed. It doesn't mean that they work less, but they're quite cool. They don't feel stressed. People are always outside because the climate is nice. They always meet outside to talk to each other. They're very communicative. Yeah, they communicate. And what I also love with them is, when there's a festival in a village, there's so many generations. The grandparents are there, the kids are there, the grandkids are there. They're always partying together. They're very, very open-minded. Maybe they don't have the same level of lifestyle like we have in Central Europe and North Europe, but they seem to be much happier. So whenever you whenever you have time, especially more and more Americans come over, travel to these countries. It's beautiful. It's really beautiful. Climate is perfect. Landscape is amazing. Food is amazing. And to be honest, it's especially Portugal and Spain, outside of the tourist centers. When you land in or some part, you really get excellent food for a very, very cheap price.
Wow, that's super exciting, Roland. It sounds like it's been all good times for you. Were there any challenges or anything that came up that you weren't prepared for during this travel period of time?
Well, when you travel, I say some days are really super, some days are okay, and some days are just fucked off. Yeah, like normal life too. When you look at this YouTube videos or whatever, or Instagram, of course they always post the best pictures, the best places, but it's not reality. It's not reality. Yeah. I guess I'm a very positive person, and I guess 70% of the time was really very, very good. 25% it was okay, and 5% it was just, what the fuck is going on? I had an accident. I crashed my motorhome a little bit in Portugal. Actually, at the end of my trip in North Spain, somebody robbed me my favorite watch, my expensive Rolex and stuff like that. Yeah, they have some negative stuff of that. Yeah, sure. Did I feel lonely? Yeah, sometimes, to be honest. Yeah, sometimes. Of course, I feel lonely, but it was a very, very good feedback. What triggers me? Why do I feel lonely? What do I need? What is it? What is it? Am I in need or something? Or I'm suffering? I'm desperate? What is it? It was a huge learning process for me. But most of the time, it was really cool. But it was challenging. Sometimes it was difficult to find a place to stay overnight, especially on the Mediterranean coast in Spain. It was difficult to find a spot on a camping site. Everything was sold out, booked. It was quite difficult sometimes, challenging. Sometimes it would. I prefer to stay in the wild, but it was in some areas it was difficult to find a space to stay. I was lucky that only once, a quarter before midnight, the police knocked on my door in Portugal and said, "Hello, you have to move on. You cannot stay overnight here." It was just once it happened to me. But it happened often that there's some apps. There are different apps available. One is very famous. It's called Park for Night, where you can find spots to stay for free somewhere. Somebody spent there and they describe what it is. And very often it happened to me that I tried to go on this recommended spots, but I couldn't go in because my motorhome was too large. Because most van lifers have small vans, these camper vans, the small vans. They find this place and it's easy for them to go there, but it happened very often to me that my motorhome was just too long and too high. So it was a little bit annoying. So a little sometimes, but that's life. It's normal life. It doesn't matter if you stay in a house or an apartment in a city or you travel in a motorhome. You have days that are just very good. You have days that are just okay, and sometimes you said, "Oh my God, what's happening?" It's normal, but yeah, there are some challenges. Yeah, absolutely, but that's part of the game.
Yeah, and it's also the attitude you have about it, and yours is a really good one.
Well, Of course, I get triggered sometimes. Of course, I'm not a human being. I also have emotions, but um, I don't stay very long in the suffering. I don't stay very long in the pain or whatever. So I always, somebody triggers me, I always try to reflect what's going on, what triggers me, what is my monkey mind trying to tell me. And what I learned is never listen to your inner. Never listen to your voice. Listen to your heart, and to be honest, when something bad happens, it happens. Yeah, but why to stay in this mood? It doesn't make it any better. I'm very solution focused. I'm always very solution focused. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah, I can relate to that. I'm solution focused as well. I guess that's the masculine energy in us.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So you're going to stay where you are in your home country now, and then what does your travel route look like going forward?
Well, actually, I will stay a while in Austria because I have family here. My kids are here, and I'm taking care about my auntie. Uh, sorry. Yeah, I also joining two men's festival in June and July. Became actually by chance I became part of the crew right now. So I said, okay, I will come to this men's festival. I will stay there. My plans are, to be honest, right now my plans. I don't know if it's still on tomorrow. I'm a very flexible person, but the plans right now are that after these 3-4 months in Austria, I'm thinking about going to Italy, driving one coast of Italy down, staying over winter, spending the winter in Sicilia, in the island in the south, and go the other coast up. That's my plan right now. Maybe take Slovenia. It's a small country on the side with me too. But if you ask me in 1 month or 2 months, maybe there is another decision. I don't know. But right now, my plans is to go to Italy.
I love Italy. The food, the people, sightseeing.
Well, actually, the food is amazing, and you know what I really love in Italy is all the people, like myself, all the, especially men. You know, you never, I've never seen any country where all the people are still very fashionable. The guys, you know, and the ladies both, you know, cool clothes. I love, you know, this man having a gray, a white shirt, a gray nice trousers, and then brown leather shoes and a brown belt, you know, really stylish. Oh, I loved it, you know. I really love it, you know. When you look in Austria and Germany, man, it's better because, like we are, you know, we are the baby boomers. We have a different style, like our parents. But when you look at all the people, everyone is in gray and gray and gray, and so. Well, but the Italians always have a cool style. I love the style of the Italians, and the food is amazing, and the culture, and actually, yeah. But I love the style. I love the style. Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with you. And you mentioned food. So that's a question I have that people might be wondering. How are you staying in shape while you're traveling? And are you pretty much at the same weight from when you left a year ago?
I guess I gained a little bit on the way back through France and in North Spain. I had too many croissants, too many carbs. Yeah, but I didn't gain much weight. Absolutely, maybe one or 2 kilos, so 2 or 4 pounds. A little bit, yeah, a little bit. I feel it, yeah, a little bit. But I stay in shape because I try to eat healthy. I'm on low carb. I almost drink really very rare alcohol, especially when I'm alone. Absolutely not. I don't drink. When I go to restaurants or meet some friends or we cook together, yeah, I have a glass of wine, maybe 2 small ones. So I don't have much alcohol. I work out. I walk my dog every day. I do a lot of cardio. So yeah, it was not it's not an issue for me to gain weight or something like that. No, not.
So for people who are wondering how can they work out on the road? If they, for me, for example, I have certain things that I do when I work out, and I might think, wow, if I'm going to be on the road, I'm not going to be sure where I'm going to be able to work out or how. What has been your routine, or how do you plan in advance to work out?
To be honest, Jacqueline, this was really challenging for me. I'm not the homework, the doing workout at home. So I always, when my girlfriend, my ex-girlfriend, she was always, she goes to the gym too, but she was also did the workout at home, especially in the pandemic. And I said, wow, the discipline. I was never a home worker, somebody working out by myself. I always needed the gym. not to socialize, but I was much more motivated in the gym. So it was a little bit challenging in the beginning. I brought some kettlebells with me. I brought TRX with me. I brought some how do you do this rubber bands with me. But the cardio was easy because I walked the dog every day, and I walk quite fast. So secondly, running, jogging, you can everywhere. You don't need a lot of gear. And actually in Portugal, I spent 15 days on a very luxury camping site, and I went there because friends of mine had already been there and said, hey, they have an amazing gym and an amazing spa. So I went to the gym twice a day and to the spa twice a day. And yeah, and then I did some workout, a little bit every day. On some places I found calisthenics stuff there for free. So there's always an option, but to be honest, sometimes it was really a challenge for me. I love much more to go to the gym, to be honest, especially for the weightlifting. But you can do it by your own. You don't need much, especially with TRX. It's really easy to work with your own body work. But to be honest, for me, it was a challenge.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. I appreciate it. Something else that's great to do on the road, I don't know if you've ever considered this, is to purchase a small trampoline.
I was thinking about it, but I didn't have the space anymore.
You'd have to do it outside. You put it outside wherever you are.
Yeah, you have to put it outside, but you have to store it anywhere.
But it's small, though. It's about this big.
Yeah, the smaller ones, yes, but I'm a little bit scared because when you jump too high, you get out of it and you hurt yourself. But in Mallorca, I was always thinking to buy a huge one to jump around because a trampoline jumping is really cool. No, what I have this how do you call it? This jumping rope.
Mm-hmm. Yes, jumping rope is great.
Yeah, I love it. That's very, very good. I love it. No, but I have a stand-up paddle with me as a kettlebell. I have a lot of stuff with me, and yeah, I mean, the point is, when I don't work out, I'm not happy. I don't feel good. And when I don't feel good, it's very easy to cheat and to eat crap stuff. And sometimes it happens to me too. And I said, after 2 days, I said, what are you doing here? So I go back, work out, I sweat. And when I sweat, I want to eat some health. When I sweat, I never want to eat junk food. Never ever. So it's a nice combination. No, it's a self-discipline. But sometimes it's really difficult. Yeah, of course, to motivate yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. So for people who are just joining us or they're wondering what we're talking about, traveling through France, Portugal, and Spain, you've been traveling in your motorhome for just over a year, just about a year. And your motorhome is not just a regular motorhome. It is a super duper luxury motorhome. Would you describe it that way?
Well, I mean, there are more luxuries on the market, but I never compare with other. Yeah, it is luxury, of course. Yeah, because it's large, but actually it's for 6 persons. This motorhome has space to sleep for 6 persons. Yes. Why so large? Well, the point is, I'm not in my 20s anymore to travel around in a small, I don't know, VW or something like that. Of course, you want to have some luxury, of course. For me, it was important, I'm very sensitive on energy, Dr. JACALYN. And I always had in my office too. I always have a spot where I do my creative work. I always have a spot where I do stuff I don't like to do, but I have to do. I always have a spot where I have my coffee. So I always have different places. And I said, okay, I want to have enough space. I have on the side here with the cat is my lounge where I'm reading or even working, like writing a book or stuff like that. Really enjoy stuff. I have my space where I eat. It's the other side of the table. The driving seat is behind me. I always said I want a motorhome. I want to sit on the driving seat and work or eat. This must be a different seat. I have a seat where I broadcast. So I need these different spaces. I don't want to work and sit on my bed. So I strongly believe in energy. So the bed is just for me where I spend a few hours where I reconnect with my higher self. I don't want to work there. I want to do some stuff that is not good, So like when you have a small well, some people work on the same place and then they have a table during the day and the night they make a bed out of it. Yeah, it's not for me. So that's why I said, okay, I need a a larger size because I need these different spaces. I said I want a full bathroom. I want a full bathroom, meaning bathroom, toilet, and shower are separated. I don't want the same that everything is wet when you shower. I want to separate it. Then I'm a tall person. I want a large shower so I can move around and not. So I want a large shower so it's more space. I want a large bed, a really large bed. So I guess my bed is like 2 meter long, but it's too like the home broad. It's quite a large. I want a large bed. I need space for my. I always had a large dog for the dog. So and then I said, okay, whoa, the motorhome is more size and long, and that's the reason for it. And yeah, boy, I'm 60 next year, and I really worked a lot all my years. So some luxury I would live at that. Yeah. But there are more luxuries on the market.
Well, good for you. I would love for you sometime to take us on a tour of your motorhome. That would be fun. But for today, we're just about out of time because there's a show right after this, which is your show. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, that's one of my passions. It's working with men, and we just started a few years ago, and then you, Dr. Jacalyn, offered me to do our own show here, a show that's called, actually the title is Wild at Heart. This is a show, ladies and gentlemen, it's a show for men, by men, about men, meaning a few men from different parts of the world discuss men's topics. Actually, we started a year ago, so please join us. It's not only for men, also for women. If you want to learn more about men, if you maybe you want to understand your boyfriend, your husband better, what's going on, yeah, join us on. Actually, we start in 18 minutes. It's Wild at Heart, the show for men, by men, about men. We have men's topics, different topics. We have all the recordings also on the website bonfiredogs.com. I think it's very, very important and that men talk, and men need men to talk. And the background or is just understanding is I did and I still do executive coachings. And I found out that men, when they need men to talk, to open about their emotions, and my own story, I had a bad childhood, a bad experience in my childhood, so I never showed my negative emotions, not to be hurt more. And the reason for that is most men don't show their emotions because they think that's what we trained. You don't cry, you don't show emotions is a kind of weakness. No, it's absolutely not. But I didn't know it when I was in my early years, and the point is I was really suffering, to be honest, because when you suppress your negative emotions, after a while you also have no access anymore to positive emotions. So you don't feel joy anymore, and that's what I found out actually in a relationship. I got that feedback. So, and then I started to work on myself. Then I found out with friends of mine, and actually, as I said, I have a lot of business friends which became friends of my clients. And when you talk face to face, they open up and they have the same stuff. So that's I started men's work, because men need, first of all, to feel their emotions, to describe them, to speak about them, and it's not weak. I guess it's the bravest things what you can ever do is face your fears and your anxieties, and for men it's difficult because we are trained, to be strong, to be competitive, to be successful. Yes, of course, but we pay a very, very high price for that. A very, very high price. When you look at men, when I look around, how many men have any addiction of eating too much, or drinking too much, or any drug, or some do extensive sports because they don't feel themselves, so they need more to feel themselves. I think we go in a wrong direction, and it's time that men, not to become a pussy, don't something with all this gender stuff that's going on. That's the other way. I'm not just being a man, absolutely being a man, but not suppressing any more emotions, because it's not good for yourself. You're hurting yourself, you get sick, and also your families, your beloved ones are suffering.
Thank you so much, Roland. We want to say hi to our friend Gaffa, joining us from Ghana. Thank you so much for being with us again today. All right, we are going to sign off. If you want to reach out to Roland, he's got a number of websites, but you can reach him on his main website. Roland, what is that?
Yeah, my main website it's just my name, rolandfriedl.com. I will spell it for those guys who are listening on a radio station on a podcast. It's ROLANDFRIEDL.com, RolandFriedl.com. Or from there, you can go to other links when it's more business related or wireless life coaching or men's work, whatever it is. Yeah, whenever you want to contact me, I love to connect with people. I think it's all about sharing, caring, and connecting with people. That's why I also love USA Global TV and Radio, because it's about sharing, caring, learning, and supporting each other. So whatever it is, contact me. I'm always interested in where you're coming from, where you're going to, what are your plans, your projects. Yeah, just connect with me. Feel free. I'm not a normal guy.
Thank you so much, Roland.
Thank
All
you.
right, we are going to close out the show for today and turn right over to the next show, which we know is now Wild at Heart. So thanks for being with us, and please stay wherever it is that you are. If you'd like to be a guest on any of our shows, why not? Go over to our website, usaglobaltv.com/book your session, and we'd be happy to host you. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.